Let's talk about politics. Okay, so that's a lot to jump into right off the bat. So let's just take a look at a sort of step one. Let's talk about how to register to vote. Now, I'm not here to condescend to you. My goal is to emphasize the importance of exercising your civic right to vote and showing you how to register to vote. This year is relatively important in terms of elections because, well, it's an election year. And while the presidential election is on everyone's minds, there's actually quite a few other elections going on at the same time. Here in Missouri, you have your congressional elections, that's for your House of Representatives, and we're also going to be electing the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, the secretary of state, the treasurer, the Missouri House Representatives, the Missouri Senate, and the state Supreme Court. So why do these matter? Well, you may have noticed that we're living in
uncertain times.
There's a lot of uncertainty and anxiety about what we need to do now and what we need to do for the future. Everyone has opinions on these things, and everybody wants those opinions heard. And the only way to do that is to vote. So first, let's talk about eligibility. In general, for the United States, the voting age is 18. This means you have to be 18 on election day in order to vote. Now, each state has different registration and pre-registration rules to it. For Missouri, the state I'm in, you have to be 17 and a half to register, a U.S. citizen, and a Missouri resident. You also cannot be imprisoned, be on probation or parole from a felony, and cannot have committed any voting crimes. If you meet these requirements, you can register to vote. You also need to do so in the state of Missouri before October 7th, 2020 if you want to participate in the general election. Great, so you're eligible to register. Now, how do we do it? Well, registering is actually fairly simple. All of this information comes from the Missouri Secretary of State website. If you go to the website directly, you'll need to click Elections and Voting, and then select Register to Vote. Now, there are 4 ways to register to vote for Missouri: online, mail-in form, in person, or have the form mailed to you. I'll go through each of these, although really the one you really should be doing is online. If you select to have a form mailed to you, you'll be asked to fill out some basic information, mostly regarding mailing and birth info, which is really all that's needed to determine if you can vote. The state will then send you a form to fill out, which you then need to complete and submit to your local election authority. Who's your local election authority, you ask? Good news. You can find out by clicking Find My Local Election Authority. That's literally not even 2 inches to the left. If you decide to print and mail your registration, you'll be taken to a PDF copy of the registration form, the same registration form that would be mailed to you. Print it out, fill it out, and then send it to your local election authority. If you decide to register in person, all you have to do is walk into the office of your local election authority, request an application, fill it out, and turn it in. You don't even really have to go to your local election authority because you could go to your DMV or any other state agency that provides a service, and they should have forms just on hand. The last option is to register online. You'll need to answer a few questions, again, related to making sure you're actually eligible to register. At the bottom, there will be a choice for what device you're using. Make sure you select tablet, mobile device, or other touchscreen device, even if you're not. That will take you to the actual online form. If you say that you're using a computer, it just takes you to the PDF form again. And that's it. That's all you have to do to register. You'll receive confirmation in the form of a voter ID card through the mail sometime later. You can also use the Secretary of State website to check your voter registration. Now that you've registered to vote, it's time to think about how you're going to vote when the time comes. I'm not going to get into arguments for one candidate or another. That's something you need to determine for yourself. I will, however, encourage you to use this time to determine the specific values and policies you want to endorse. Reach deep into your soul and think about what matters to you. Reflect on why and decide what kind of policies you want to see established. Once you know what policies you support and want to see enacted, it's time to research the issues and candidates. There's a lot of information to sift through, so I'd recommend sites such as Ballotpedia, Issue-Voter, Voter 411, Fact Check, and PolitiFact. Be aware, though, that a lot of ballot information is still being developed, so research on specific non-incumbent candidates might be difficult. Once you've started research and forming your opinions, get involved and stay involved. Discuss the issues, refine your opinions, participate in town halls, become pen pals with your representatives. If there are candidates you strongly support, consider campaigning for them or becoming active in their campaigns. There are numerous ways to make your voice heard, and you should pursue all of them. The number one way is to vote, and now you're registered to do so. Do not listen to those people that tell you you're throwing away your vote by voting third party or writing in even a joke candidate. You're not. You're making your voice heard. Just remember to actually go vote November 3rd, 2020. Please.